Major breaking news here as President Trump has followed through on his threat to impose tariffs on America's closest allies here, Canada and Mexico. 25% tariffs on America's neighbors, 10% tariffs on China. There is one distinction on the Canadian tariffs. It's a 10% tariff on Canadian energy products. Keep in mind, among the top 5 countries we get our oil from, Canada and Mexico. So you're looking at potentially here higher prices for Americans. The big question is, when will these be enacted? We don't know the date. As of Saturday afternoon, as of Trump signing the executive order here. The way tariffs work is that they're effectively imposed on the importer. So the importer can decide, well, I'm not going to get that product from Canada or Mexico or China anymore, or they can continue to get it. They might not have an alternative, and they're going to pass along that 25% effectively tax, a price increase on the American consumer. That's why, again, anything from timber and lumber for building a new home from Canada, avocados, tomatoes, a whole variety of things from Mexico. Keep in mind the U.S., Mexico, and Canada do $1 trillion in trade every year. So why is Trump doing this? He says that he's looking to get the Canadians and Mexicans to clamp down on fentanyl, the border, migration. Numbers are down, and of course it's much less significant from the northern border than the southern border. Nonetheless, the two countries have said, we're willing to talk to you. We've imposed some new things, some new restrictions here. Trump has said it's not enough. He hasn't said publicly exactly what he's looking for. But keep in mind that the Canadians and Mexicans are going to counter here. They are talking about counter tariffs in Canada on things like orange juice from Florida, whiskey from Tennessee. Particularly the Canadians are looking at targeting red states, people who voted for Trump, trying to basically make life challenging, create economic issues in red states that voted for Trump as a counter here, hoping that that will then lead Trump to take down these tariffs or never impose these tariffs. Again, he signed the executive order. We don't know a date yet. They're also talking in Canada for a dollar for dollar tariff situation. Keep in mind, we do a bunch of U.S. states do hundreds of billions of dollars in trade with Canada, sell their products to Canada just across the border. So they're talking about 100% tariffs on Tesla, targeting Elon Musk there. Canadians aren't playing around here. The Mexicans, they've been a little quieter, the Mexican leader, but Claudia Sheinbaum, the president there, is looking at potential counter tariffs as well against U.S. products that are sold in Mexico. So you're looking at a potential trade war here. By the way, Trump has said he's also looking at imposing tariffs due to issues he has with the Europeans. So EU-wide tariffs. I remember we did an interview with him several years ago. He called the EU one of America's greatest enemies. And so there's a lot of potential issues here. We're still looking for some clarity on timing. But ultimately here, $1 trillion in trade, potential trade war with America's neighbors to the north and the south. And this could also have a crippling effect on those countries. 80% of their exports go to the U.S.